Welcome back to another episode of From B to Z. We have a new mug.
Yes, courtesy of B.
That I got for Z. Because he got me this for my birthday. And I was like, okay, you need your own cup. And now he's going to be King Z and I'm going to be Queen B.
Queen and Kings almost sound like narcissists.
I know, we sound like narcissists being like, oh my god, we're talking about ourselves.
But we're just the main character.
So, the way I want to start this off is we're filming on May 5th. Yeah. Obviously, this is going to be posted like a way ahead of time, but shh.
Don't kill
It's see you. So today's May 5th, which is it's officially the remembrance of murdered and missing Indigenous women. Mm-hmm. Might be butchering the way it's phrased, but basically it's just a day for people to no mic, no rights. All right? If you don't have the mic, you don't have the right to speak. That's the new phrase on this podcast.
I said you might be butchering it.
What?
Might.
I will throw you.
No throwing.
Anyways, so let's not joke at this part. This is a serious part, okay? Let's not joke at this part. So Z is wearing red on his shirt because it's supposed to represent like the support of the fact that this is an issue that's happening and that people are spreading awareness about it. I have red on my bracelet. We have a red buzzer.
Yeah. Red blood cells.
So it's just some. We just wanted everyone to be aware of that, and it's something that's been going on for years, but people have been trying to bring attention to it, where a lot of Indigenous women are just disappearing, and either like they're still missing or they show up murdered, and there's not much being done about it. So we wanted to just bring attention to that, especially because today's such a significant day. All right, so we're gonna move on to our topics.
Comment? We have a comment.
Oh God, I don't want comments from you.
I just wanted to add to that,
Yeah.
like on top of all the Indigenous women disappearing and stuff like that, there's also been a lot of I'm bringing, I guess, awareness to all Indigenous at this point, right?
Yeah.
Like all the schools there's still schools that they're finding a lot of bodies and everything too.
Oh yeah. Well, there's a lot of issues surrounding,
exactly.
right,
So
Indigenous people in Canada. So
it was just I guess more awareness for that as well.
Yeah. Just today specifically, I just felt it's important to bring up, right? Because I actually didn't know today was the official day for it. I knew about it. But I saw a video of an Indigenous woman talking about it and dancing in a red dress and talking about the significance of red. So I just thought, we should bring awareness to it so people know. But yeah, of course, I'm sure people have heard in the news the issues with the schools finding the dead children, and just in general, the issues surrounding Indigenous people is still going on. Children are still being taken away from their homes by the government. That's still a thing. Children are dying under the custody of the government. There's a lot of sad things that are happening, and it's one of the dark histories of Canada that people just like to ignore.
They just kind of throw under the rug.
So it's good to talk about it and to bring attention to it. And I notice a lot when I see, even when I remember I went to see a concert, and someone before they started the concert started talking about how they're on Indigenous land and started educating people. And I feel like every time I go to performances now, people try to talk about it. Yeah. And I think that's really good because I never used to hear that before. Now more people actually talking about it and bringing awareness. So from that topic, one thing we did want to start off with, I don't know if you wanna say it because there's a specific way you wanted us to broach it. I think.
Yeah, I just wanted to just say a disclaimer that for what we talk about, anything that we talk about is obviously just derailed, so just bouncing off each other's ideas, and everything here is harmless. We're just here speaking from our own experiences, but also just speaking in general of. We're not here to offend anyone or anything like that. It's just
it might be because the reason we're talking about it is there recently a B to Z preview was posted, and one of the jokes was when I was talking about my trauma with the suicide hotline, and there's just a part where we were laughing about how ridiculous it is. And it's something that it was it's very taken out of context. When you see the previews, 100%. It's a 1-minute clip. All right, guys. It's a 1-minute clip. You don't know how the conversation went before that, and I feel like there might be some people who jump on that because it's
for sure.
They call it consider it a suicide joke, but it's I wasn't making fun of suicide. I wasn't making a joke. I was making a joke about the fact that I went through something really fucked up.
It was more about the joke about the Canadian system.
And the fact that it's so messed up, right? Precisely. Just, like, be wary of that when you guys look at the previews. Like, if you watch the full podcast, then you get the context. So we just wanted to kind of bring that up.
For sure. And there may be some more, and we'll have the red button if anything is out of line.
Which, by the way, this is a funny thing that I just realized. We introduced this cancel buzzer on, like, episode 2 or 3, and I just realized that, like, we're getting a bunch more people watching us, and they might not know what the fuck we're doing.
Yeah. They're like, is this America's Got Talent?
It's just like someone says something offensive, we're just like, and they're like, what are these people doing? And I'm like, we should probably bring it up every episode what this actually is.
And then these ones can be a mystery.
We have a comment.
I think just once would be fine.
No, every episode.
Yeah, man, we gotta be like Marvel. Fuck if they don't know the backstory. if they want to know the backstory, start from the beginning.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but it is what
that
it is.
That is true. But then I was like,
I think when they see us use it throughout the episodes,
they
don't know.
pick up what it's
Scoot the buzzer over this way.
Where? Here?
Yeah, scoot it right there.
So we have Alex arranging things today, and I've noticed he's very perfectionist. He's very much being a Virgo today.
Which I admire. I know. Is that Virgo retrograde? No,
Virgo.
Go back a little bit. Retrograde. Go back a little bit the other way. No. The buzzer. Yeah.
The buzzer. Oh, okay.
Right there. That's good.
That's perfect.
That's good. That's good.
All right, we've got his Virgo aspects in here, being like, gotta perfect everything.
Check.
One last thing, B. You want to move in for me? Let's just tighten it right up.
Oh my goodness.
Let's just tighten it up. Since we're doing it, we're here. It's okay. I'm here. You know what? They're gonna allow me in front of the camera moving forward.
No way. I don't want to do it anymore. I was comfortable.
I'm done.
Ow, I'm getting a cramp in my foot. You see how he abuses me on set? Like, he's causing me so many problems. And he's not even here, technically. He's behind the camera. All right. So, anyways. So, I was going to say something funny, like, that happened between me and ZEE. So, he was texting me. And he texted me a picture of his reservations for his birthday. And he's like, I made reservations for this. And my immediate response to him was, I'm coming too, right? And he was like, of course, this is my invitation to you.
I just sent it to you.
I know, but I was like talking to him.
There's a backstory behind it.
Yeah, I was talking to him that, like, it's funny because you think that that's obvious. Like, you think that, like, your friend wouldn't just send you a picture being like, hey, these are my birthday reservations. And then you're also invited. But I had this situation with my ex, and it's like the stupidest thing that has ever happened to me. So my ex, he always knew, like when we were dating, he always knew that I wanted to go to Chicago, and I had a chance to go to Chicago and visit, but I lost it because it was supposed to be with someone I was dating at the time, and we broke up. So I always told him, like, I always wanted to go to Chicago. So one day he comes to me and he's like, B, I have a surprise for you. And I'm like, yeah? And he's just like, my mom said we're going to Chicago for my birthday or for her birthday. And I was like, oh my God, we're going to Chicago. And he's like, yeah, me and my mom. And I'm like, am I coming too? And he's like, no.
Like, what?
He's like, no. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I was literally like, what do you mean surprise for me? You said this is a surprise for me. And then he gets mad at me saying, why can't you ever be happy for me?
First of all, I'm with your friend. That was fucking selfish. He was just calling to tell you about a good moment in his life. The nerve to think that you were going to be part of it.
How did he start the conversation? He said, I have a surprise for you that I'm going to fucking Chicago. That's not a surprise for me.
What do you mean? Weren't you fucking surprised? I was fucking surprised.
Yeah, but it wasn't a good surprise. It was a bad surprise.
No, wait. Surprises, no one said surprises had to be good. He said,
why are you on his side?
I just, because you're
wrong. Go away. I don't need this, okay? Out. Anyways, so that was like some trauma for me. So when he sent me that invite, I'm like, I swear to God, if I say I'm coming too and you're like, no, I'm like, we're done. Goodbye. You're cut. So we've had some like experiences with exes in that scenario. I don't know if you want to go into yours, so.
No, I'm okay.
No, you're good. Okay. So from that, I also wanted to talk about this, but I don't know if like you really have any advice for me.
Right. Okay.
I have a situation happening tomorrow where I'm going to a party with two people who I don't know how to phrase this. I'm pretty sure. No, they definitely hate my guts.
Wait.
You stop.
Definitely need to know
You
more. First of all, why the fuck are you going anywhere with people that hate you?
That's what I said.
There's a reason.
But Alex is gonna cut you off and tell your story.
I know, I want to tell my story, but Alex, this is not A to B. This is B to Z. I don't need you.
First of all, you said you think.
Mike, no rights. Oh, it's there. Okay.
You said you think. Let me just share this up for you. Those people hate your guts.
I said they definitely do. By the end of it, I was like, they definitely hate my guts.
Oh my god, they hate you so much.
Stop it! I know you hate me. I don't need more.
Not like that, but damn.
Okay.
You should go to a party with these people.
So listen, I have been avoiding seeing these people for a very long time. One of them works with Jacques, and the other is a close friend with him.
Can I ask, are these males or females?
Males.
Males? Okay.
All right.
And is Jacques still acquainted with
Okay,
said male?
so it's a long story that I'm not going to get into, but TLDR, too long didn't read.
Oh, what?
Come on, you know that.
No,
you don't know it? Oh, it's like a thing on Reddit where it's like when they post like this long thing. Yes, too long didn't read. You don't know. Oh my god.
I learned something new.
Guys!
I'm gonna forget tomorrow.
Did you just ignore the TLDR?
I've heard that phrase like forever. One of my favorite YouTubers use it.
And you never knew what it meant.
I knew it meant like shortening a story, but like I didn't know what the acronym meant.
I see.
TD?
TLDR, too long didn't read. So it's basically like saying that if you don't want to read the long name, here's
when someone sends you the big old nutty message?
Yeah.
And
you're like, oh, I'm not gonna read that.
Yeah.
And you're like, I got the gist of it. Fuck you too, bitch.
Whenever I get those and I don't want to read it, I usually just respond saying, I'm not reading that. I've done it a few times. I've done it a few times.
How to really piss off people.
Come on. Okay.
No,
sometimes I'm tired, all right? But, anyways, so, like, long story short, one of them actually treated me so horribly in front of Jacques that Jacques actually, like, snapped at them. And you know how Jacques is. He doesn't...
Not that
he's
snapping.
not an aggressive person. So he actually got really mad and didn't talk to this person for a long time because of how much he disrespected me in front of people. For no reason. Like, really no reason. Never did anything to this person. I feel like the only reason is because... he was friends with Jacques when me and him were broken up for like a year, and now he has this like, you know, friend vendetta against me because of that. And the other person is just a piece of garbage. I'm not going to get into it. He's not worth my fucking time. So fuck that guy. But the worst thing about that person is that, you know, I try to be a mature adult. Like, I could be at a party with a bunch of people I hate, and I could be totally neutral and fine with them.
Yeah, of
course.
But
the problem with this person is that they know a lot of personal stuff about me, and they purposefully try to trigger me and bring up this stuff in front of people and try to embarrass me, and I can't stand being around them. But
if I may ask,
yeah.
when was the last time you've seen both of them?
Oh my god, it's been so long. It's been so that's the last time I saw one of them was like 3 years ago, and then the other one I think it's been like at least 2 years or so. It's been a few years.
It's been an adequate amount of time.
Which is another thing is like I can't see Jacques as often because of like, well, one of those people. The other person just works with him, so it's whatever. But like, and not just that, but it's also like, you know, Jacques invited me, and a lot of his coworkers are going to be there. So I'm just like, I don't want to always avoid his like work stuff because of these people. I don't want to avoid.
Sure.
So like,
you want to deprive yourself of an experience or of an outing.
And it's like I usually hang out with him on Saturdays, so like I don't want to miss that time either. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go. But like I guess I'm anxious about it, and it's like I'm worried because I'm like I know I can behave. Right? I know myself. The problem is I'm worried I'm going to get so triggered, and like they're the type of people that like I get the feeling that they love to make people out to be crazy. So they try to like trigger people to make you like fly
they
off
push
the handle.
Buttons and stuff.
Yeah.
And like my buttons are being pushed.
Yeah, always. They're constantly pushing my buttons. And so it's the problem with that is that I don't know what I should do. Like, because if I just leave when I'm in that state, then everyone's going to be like, oh my God, she left. Oh my God, she's so dramatic. You know, like it's going to be like a bit of a dramatic exit. But at the same time, I don't know if I can handle it.
I can visually see that. So I guess my advice for you would be, you're there with a purpose and you're there to support your boyfriend, so just want to do that. You're also there not to cause any like conflict or drama or anything of that sort. Like everyone is technically there just to have a good time.
Yeah.
It's also been 2 to 3 years. So that's almost around like pre-COVID, just about the start of COVID.
Yeah.
I know this COVID really like shifted people's mentalities and a lot of times matured some people. Some demographics immature them more.
Yeah.
But for the most part, you know, give people the benefit of the doubt that they've matured in these past few years. And, you know, just like maybe start off as a clean slate because, you know, I'm sure you've grown also, obviously, since then. You're still...
I don't know.
I mean, you're still...
I don't know.
But in some areas that you may not be as attentive towards, you have grown and matured. So in that sense, you know, just overall.
Well, that's what I'm hoping for. Like, I'm hoping I'm gonna go and nothing's gonna happen. It's gonna be totally normal.
And just have small talk, you know, just like in the office when you see people, like you just, hey, how are you? Oh, yeah, good, and like small talk like that. What are you drinking? Whatever the case is. Yeah. And then just bounce around.
I know, that's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah,
but
just
like,
have a chill night. Whenever you feel like slowly you start triggered, just make an excuse. Oh, I have to go to the bathroom, or I need some fresh air, or I'm gonna get a drink, or I'm gonna get a snack. You know, like you just.
You know what's funny?
You take yourself out of the equation.
So the last time I saw one of those people I told you that brings up a lot of personal stuff about me. Okay. The last time I saw them was actually at like one of those like work party things, like a few years ago. Yeah. So I was doing that, ZEE. I was like trying to leave. He was following me. Bro, he's so persistent. I don't understand. Like, I was like, I'm gonna go get chips. He's like, I'm coming with you. And I'm like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. And he was like, okay. And then when I come out, he's there. And I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God.
Are you a leech?
Like, can you just leave? And then at some point, Jacques literally, like, because, like, I sat down, the guy sits right beside me, Jacques brought a chair and shoved it in, he's like, it's like, so what's you know, he was noticing, right? Yeah. So he kind of came to my rescue, which I appreciated. But, you know, even
not
at some point...
Not all heroes wear capes.
Not all heroes wear capes. Yeah, they wear ginger hair. That was a bad joke. Okay, so, no, shh. Anyways, so I feel like Jacques is gonna support me if like things happen or go wrong, but like I just wanted to bring that up because it's like what do you do with that type of person? Like you're trying so hard to be mature and they're just like, I'm gonna come and fuck your shit up like every 2 seconds.
Yeah, you just have to be like firm and stern when it comes to certain situations. So if they're in the following tendencies again, which why would they? You can just call them and I'll be like, can I help you? You know, you put them on the spot. Like
that's exactly what I was going for. I'm like, you wait until it's just you and him and you just stop and you just get creepy and turn around and be like, you're provoking a savage attack.
Yeah.
Keep it up. I'm just gonna.
But the thing,
like a spider monkey.
You guys.
It's like the Mean Girls scene, you know.
But you guys know me. It's like when so in the beginning, right? Like I clap back when people get on my nerves. So the problem is like I feel like he's like good in social situations. Like he's good at manipulating the situation, and so I always end up looking crazy. Like these are those types of people, and that's why I don't like to react because like if I do react, I always end up looking worse than they do.
Yeah. So just don't let them be like the case. Don't give them that power. Don't give them that leverage. Yeah. Don't give them anything. You know, you're completely independent. You're on your own. And you're there with a much stronger mindset. They're not going to easily manipulate
what if I
these little fishing baits.
If I like
small
corner them in a room and kick them in the balls and lock them in there.
So that would only take you so far.
So you stop following me.
Yeah.
Pretty sure lawyers can't do that.
Not a lawyer. Good thing I am not a lawyer.
Can we
Why aren't you wearing your not a lawyer badge?
Why is that hidden? Anyways. So, okay, then moving on. So that's my situation. We'll see how tomorrow goes.
That's my advice for you.
Yeah, and I think it's one of those things where like you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. So it's like I made the choice to go, and I'm gonna have to see how that goes. And if it goes very badly,
I'm
never going ever again.
No, just have the stronger mindset and, you know, always be the bigger and better person.
Yeah.
And more mature, because, to be honest, that actually gets more recognition than the person that's being immature. So if they're being immature and they're doing these kind of tendencies and behaviors, others will notice it too.
Yeah,
you know?
that's true.
And if you're being the bigger, mature person, others will notice that as well too, right?
Because I tend to, like, when I get mad, I tend to not be. I tend to be like,
I think that's
fuck
with a
you,
lot of people.
bitch.
Yeah, anger does do that for a lot of us and stuff, where the anger just kind of takes over, and it's like, I'm the captain. And, like, takes over the vessel and, like, goes all crazy and stuff, and it's like, we have to suppress that and not let it.
I used to be so aggressive. I was, like, so mean.
Be aggressive.
Be
aggressive.
Be aggressive. Okay, sorry. We're lame. The next thing I wanted to talk to you about, because you seem to know a lot about this too, is like I saw a post.
Literally crying.
So, I saw a post about forced conscription in Syria, and you're Syrian.
Yes.
So I thought of you, and like since the podcast was coming up, I was like, we could talk about this.
For sure.
And I saw a post about this girl. So apparently there's a lot going on in Syria where like it's illegal now, but they were taking kids, like 13, 14-year-olds, and forcing them to like conscript into the war, like into the military.
Yeah.
And then they did. Oh my God! Stop it, Alex. Stop.
I'm enjoying your podcast.
You're crying,
We appreciate
laughing while I'm talking about forced conscription in Syria.
Man, that happens to kids all over the world. Don't worry about it.
What's so funny, Alex?
Not don't worry about it. Not don't worry about it. Like, somebody
God.
should worry about it. You know what?
Somebody.
Continue what you guys are saying. Leave me out of it.
Leave
Take the
yourself
laughter
out
for
of
what
it.
it is.
Okay.
Yeah, go on.
So they were talking about this. I think I sent. I'm gonna say her name specifically because I did send it to you. And this girl who just turned 18. Apparently, she was being she was under surveillance for like a year.
So it's the
Syria.
girls that are being.
She was also
like
taken.
Recruited in a sense.
I think
like
honestly,
recruited.
I think it's everybody because it's like it doesn't seem like it matters whether it's a woman or a guy or what.
So what I do know about the war or the army and the military for Syria is that if you have a brother, and obviously if you're over 18, you're obligated to go. The reason is because if you have a brother, someone else can still carry on your heritage and lineage and family name kind of thing.
Wait, if you have a brother,
if you have a brother,
your brother doesn't go?
No, like both brothers go. But let's say with myself, I only have 3 sisters, so I don't have any brothers, so I'm not obligated to go into the war. This was the policy rule way back then. Since the Civil War till now, I'm sure rules have been changed and manipulated just to work in the government's favor, in order to have more military personnel on them.
So here she is. So 18-year-old Kurdish girl abducted for military conscription. Mm-hmm. What was her name? So her name is I might say this wrong. Is it Fida Abdul Jalil?
Yeah.
Okay, Fida Abdul Jalil. So she was apparently engaged, and she was actually going to leave the country to be with her fiance, and right before that she was taken and disappeared. And her family didn't know what happened to her, and then they got a notice that she was like in the military, but they knew that she didn't want that wasn't what she wanted to do. So it's essentially she was forced into it because there's a fear of saying no. There's a lot of there's a lot of repercussions to that, right?
Yeah, they're pretty like ultimatums and
and they're like, no, you can't say no.
So it's very unfortunate how that is happening.
Yeah.
And like Alex mentioned, I'm sure it does happen all around the world. Right now it's just being relevant in Syria because of everything that's been going on. And things still going on from it as well.
I think the scariest thing is that they're
new
kids.
Escalations.
Yeah.
For sure, kids are always have that sensitive subject when it comes to anything. It's like...
Well, going into war, it's like... Because even if we had conscription, you have to be like an adult to be able to do it, right?
For sure.
I guess she's technically an adult because she turned 18, but
even so,
still, I still see them as kids.
Which fresh 18-year-old wants to, do that against, like, especially in a war zone, like, at least for here, when people are going to the military, they're just more going for the training.
Yeah.
And in those
and you're not forced to go, you don't have to go.
Precisely. Over there, it's like, you're forced, and there is war, and you're being sent to the war, too. So it's just like,
that's pretty
it's
scary.
a lot to grasp and process.
Yeah.
So, I hope she has the strength to overcome this and make something out of it too, and
for
sure, you know, like
I feel like you told me a lot of other stuff about it too last night. I can't remember about like what's going on in Syria, but I don't know. If
the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon. Little boy blue,
Get
the
out
man in the
here.
moon. When you coming home? No,
This
I
is
don't
not
know
your
when.
segment.
Well, get together then.
Stop
daughter.
it. You are.
It was a girl, right? Dad. You know what?
She's so over it. She's just.
Jesus Christ.
Her eyes can't roll back any further.
All right. So.
She's basically looped down.
One day I'm gonna.
They're like boomeranging.
I am gonna put a picture here when I edit this of the money tree you gave me.
Oh my god.
And how pathetic and sad.
It's gonna be before and after.
I don't remember if I took a money. It was doing so well, Z. It was.
Just find on Google. They're not gonna know.
He bought me a money tree.
They're never gonna know.
He bought me a money tree for my housewarming in June, and I tell everyone, I'm like, I kill plants. I don't know what it is. I have the lethal touch for plants. I will never be a plant mom because I cannot take care of plants.
What about if it's fake?
If it's fake, yes.
Just have to be sure.
I don't eat them or cut them when they're fake, okay? But like, when it comes to the money tree, I thought it was going to survive. It was thriving. It was growing new leaves. It was like up and I basically...
So what happened?
I did everything possible, everything wrong in one day that basically now it's dying. So what I did was, I didn't know that there's a special kind of soil you need for it. I'm dumb. Yes, there is. You need fast drying because otherwise you cause the roots to rot. Because the water doesn't dry fast enough. So I just put regular soil in there. So apparently I've been drowning the tree by accident. On top of it, we had like 2 days of summer randomly, where it was like 2 days, it was like 30 degrees. And I put it outside.
I was in Hawaii.
Yeah. And I put it outside and I was like, oh my God, it's warm, it's sunny, stop it. I'm mid-conversation. A mid-story. So I put it outside in the warmth. It's a tropical tree, right? But I forgot to bring it in when it got cold again. It was like a day it was out in the cold. And so I brought it back in and that killed it, started killing it. And then there was, I think there was one of,
So it's the weather, not you. It's the weather.
Both. The soil, I made it rot, and then the weather was too cold, and then now I had to cut almost all the leaves, and there's a few, it's still trying though. I see leaves are budding, like it's trying to survive.
Oh my God.
I just think I like really mangled it by accident. Also, I have a spider plant. It's supposed to be really easy to take care of. It's dying too. I'm very sad. It was thriving for a while. Like, I've had it since June, and I've had the money tree since June. I've had both since June, and they were doing so well. And then all of a sudden, I just
if they survived all of winter, like...
It survived the winter. I forgot to water them many, many times. I would be honest. I think there were like 3 weeks I didn't water anything. And I don't remember.
Because if plants don't speak and make noise, she's going to forget about them.
I forget about them.
Who speaks for the trees?
Tree huggers.
Who speaks for the trees? So, wait, what was that?
Nothing.
Okay. So, like, and I joke with people all the time where I'm like, if it can't bark at me or if it can't come, like, you know, it's like, even my turtle can't get out of his tank, but when I pass by his tank, he slaps the water at me. He's like, I'm hungry, bitch. And I'm like, oh, he's there. He's alive. Okay. And I give him food.
You named him...
Cornelius.
That's the word.
Yeah. My turtle Cornelius. He's like 10 years old now. He's turning 10 in
What?
June. He's old. I've had him for so long.
My
I don't know
God.
how he's alive. I got him from Pacific Mall.
You know he's going to outlive us, right?
No, he's not.
What?
No, because these aquatic turtles, red-eared sliders, they only live to be like up to like 30 or 40 years old.
Oh, okay.
Max 50, but like...
I thought he was going to become a tortoise and live to 150.
Tortoise? No. He'll probably die before me, but like I'll be old when he dies, you know? But I got him from Pacific Mall. If y'all know Pacific
Not at
Mall.
the rate you're going.
What?
Huh?
Who asked your
Who
opinion?
speaks for Cornelius, Alex?
Me. No, you don't. You don't even know my turtle.
You the way you
don't
talk
know.
about it.
Yes, I do.
What do you mean?
He's still alive.
Last time you fed Cornelius, go.
Today.
Lies.
Oh my god.
Trigger.
Bro, alright, moving on. So I almost killed your money tree. I'm hoping to save it. I was like, why did ZEE curse me with this tree? Because he was like, it's gonna bless you with money. And I'm like, now it's dying. Now you've cursed me into becoming broke. And I am broke, by the way. I'm broke right now.
I was gonna help fix the situation.
And so I was like desperately trying to save this tree. I'm like, I can't afford to go broke right now.
You're like, give me CPR to the money tree?
I literally bought special soil for it. I put it in the special soil.
It's the thought that counts.
I put it inside. I'm like, you're never going outside ever again unless it's like summer and I know it's gonna be hot every day. So, because I usually leave it outside in the summer because it helps it thrive a bit more.
Yeah, the fresh air, the sun.
So so I'm not doing that. So hopefully it'll be better, but I was talking on the phone with ZEE actually, and I was saying because we were talking about our experiences growing up. So it started off with me talking about like growing up as a Jehovah's Witness,
yes,
and how I felt like, yes, I mentioned this. My whole family, like not my whole family, but my mom and grandma were Jehovah's Witnesses. My dad's atheist. It's a weird combo, but anyways, that's probably why we're so dysfunctional. But so growing up, I was saying how, to me, just from my perspective, it felt really fucked up as a child. How I felt like I was so bullied and like almost like attacked by adults and children when I would bring up the fact that I was a Jehovah's Witness. And I felt like other people who would say they're Christian or like any other religion, I didn't see that happening. Yeah. And I got to the point where I was actually scared to tell people that I was a Jehovah's Witness.
Because you would always get because
I always got backlash for it. And then there was even a point I was telling him how I was taking Japanese lessons like when I was like 14. And then out of fucking nowhere, my Japanese teacher was like, Jehovah's Witness is a cult. They're all cultists. They're all evil. They're terrible. Don't ever talk to one. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, and then I was like, should I tell her? And I'm like, no, she's gonna kill me. She's gonna like throw me out the window. I'm So and she was like super, super like, I don't know if she was Catholic or what type of Christian, but it was just something that we were talking about. And then I remember that we were talking about discrimination. And I asked you, I was like, I know that obviously. What did you want to say?
I don't want to derail you too far there. Can we just talk about your mom and dad super quick? I don't want to go too far into it. Just
God.
But can you imagine the pickup line? Like he shows it. Like
do you want to know how they got together?
She shows up at the door. Do you have God in your life? No, but I like you in my life.
You know that's happening.
What?
Do you want to know the story of how my dad fell in love with my mom? She was in they called it a immigration camp. No, listen.
Okay.
You want to hear this?
Or are you going to tell me?
It's an immigration camp. My mom was preaching to everyone. She was preaching to everyone. And my dad was like, I love this woman.
Wait.
An atheist.
And the atheist is the only one like, I'm buying what she's selling.
Literally in love. That's what I'm saying.
And all the Christians were like, fuck no.
My mom's a very convincing woman. Honestly, she's very good. Like, she was a teacher, so she's good with her words.
Wasn't she also a principal?
Yeah, she was a principal. Yeah. She was a lot. Anyways, okay, yeah, where was I going with? Oh, yeah, so it led into the conversation of discrimination because I asked ZEE, I was like, obviously we see in the news and we see, like, is someone, like, arguing?
No, it's fine.
Oh, my God. Okay, so is that picking up? Okay, sorry. So, I was saying, Muslims get a lot of shit. Like, in the media, you hear a lot
especially
about it.
After 9/11, obviously.
Exactly. So, I was asking him if he experienced something like that growing up, and he said not really, and you said it was, like, probably related to your complexion as well, right?
Yeah, because of my skin complexion, I guess
like
I don't really
white
give
presenting
off
or something.
the more stereotypical, like, Muslim image or stereotype, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
The full-on beard and everything like that.
Cheers. We haven't drank any of this yet, have we? Have you been drinking it?
Yeah.
I haven't?
I mean, this Smirnoff. And so because of that, I haven't really gotten that feedback, like, or a backlash, rather. I do know it exists all over.
Yeah.
It just may not always be recorded or talked about or anything, or not always in front of us. But it definitely is happening. And it happens to all demographics in their own ways, and their own religions, too. And certain ones do get more backlash than others for sure.
Yeah.
So that's why for me personally I didn't really.
And then that led me to like talking about the fact that I was like, it's kind of weird. Like when you have light skin or white skin, like there are people, and we live in Toronto too. It's like supposed to be diverse. people straight up come up to me and they just feel safe to say the most racist shit like to me. And I was talking about like someone came in the elevator and just started saying how much they hated Indians, and I was like, why are you talking to me? Like, I was like, what are you saying? I was like, I don't understand. And then, like, you know, he felt uncomfortable realizing I wasn't agreeing with him. Like, as if I was just going to automatically be
because
yeah.
Because he was also white,
yeah,
too.
Yeah, but that's another thing is, like, that happens all the time where, like,
I have that prejudice,
I have, like, white
mindset.
people come up to me and just, like, start saying racist shit. I'm like, I don't agree with you. Like, I don't understand why you're just coming up to me and saying this shit. And now you feel
they want that validation.
Yeah.
And because they're seeking that validation,
and,
also
I think
implies
also,
that they're in the wrong.
They see you, they're like, oh, they're white, they're gonna understand, and I'm just like, like no, honey. But
reality check.
But then that's what we were talking about, is like the fact that, like, even though we live in Canada, even though we live in Toronto, which is supposed to be like a very diverse city, there are still people like that are secretly thinking these things, and I get to see it randomly, and it fucks me up, because I'm like, how are you living in this city with that mindset? I don't understand, because it's like... Because, like, you deal with different types of people every day.
Some people refuse to accept what's already there, right?
Yeah.
So it's like...
Like, I've had a white dude actually tell my mom to go back to her own country when I was a kid. Because she has an accent, right?
Yeah.
So, and I was just like... And then, you know, you were talking about it. You were saying, like, that's funny because, like, Indigenous people own this land, so he should get the fuck back to his country.
Yeah, exactly. If you really date back to it.
Yeah, when you think about it. And you were talking about that, too, something
both Americas and Canada... had all the natives everywhere. I think it was around almost 300 million, I want to guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
Take. For the whole land.
I'm the worst for this. I don't remember numbers.
Someone can fact check that. And
how many Indigenous were originally in North America?
I want to say like 3 digits.
Oh, can someone fact check that? How many Indigenous people were in like North America before colonizers came?
Yeah.
I'm actually curious.
In that regard, do you think you'd get a definitive answer though? Because like, remember they were here before us, right?
Well, that's the thing. I don't know. We could see if we can find out.
There's a fact. I remember I heard about it.
I don't think you could actually know.
Well, Alex is gonna tell us.
Or I could ask.
No,
why the fuck would Nico ever think we're gonna take like his come on, Mexico's been there exactly how long?
Oh my god, stop.
Anyways,
talking estimated about racism range and how bad
it's a pretty big range though.
Estimated range.
It's a pretty big range though. Like I mean, Google's guesstimate. Anyways, 3.8 million as of range from 3.8 million to 7 million. Yeah, it's a pretty high range.
Okay.
But then that
was way back
things
then,
like
that was like over like 300.
Yeah. It's a pretty big range though.
Okay, yeah, so not 300 million. Yeah, there was a 3 somewhere.
3 million. It's okay, I'm bad with numbers anyway. So what were you saying about that?
But yeah, so because of that, it's just made it interesting that, you know, after colonization, they claimed it as their land.
Yeah.
And so now anyone else that's foreign, it's like, actually, this is our land. You guys go back where you came from.
Yeah.
It's just that whole notion and stigmatization and stuff.
It's
just
stupid because it's like Canada's always been the country of like, you know, the reason that my parents immigrated here is because they couldn't get into the U.S. because the U.S. is not as... At the time, they weren't accepting like any Polish people, or it was hard to get in there. So Canada was more like open to allowing them to cross over. What up?
My brother's really educated me on a lot of stuff when it comes to this, right? Mm-hmm. And what a lot of people don't know is Canada actually has its own dark past, right?
Oh,
like
100%.
We're just as bad as the States it comes down to shit like that.
It's just
like,
more.
But I'm not talking
hidden.
about. I'm talking about like recent. Like not. I'm talking about like when it comes to immigration. Like they were allowing people in more. Yeah. No, we know that.
In that regard, Canada is better, but also because.
But
you know,
I just mean what I was saying is it was just more available in comparison to the U.S. The U.S. is more strict in like allowing people in, right? That's why they have so many people living there that aren't citizens because they have a hard time like getting citizenship or you know being accepted in.
America's population is also 10 times our population too, right? So.
But it is a huge problem there, though. Like, I hear about it all the time. Like, tons... It's like, apparently, it's actually harder to become a citizen, like, once you're already in the country. Like, it's easier if you're not outside the U.S. Something like that.
Because you're getting more
Or maybe that's Canada. I can't remember, but I learned a fact like that. We'll have to fact check that. But it was something along those lines where it's like basically once they're already in, it's actually harder to get citizenship compared to like if they're outside.
Sometimes I feel like in certain circumstances it might actually work the opposite, where sometimes it might be a bit easier.
But it's difficult because a lot of times you have like refugees that are escaping a country, right? So they can't just like go through the official process to become citizens. Like they have to literally escape their country.
But some people come here through a visa or whatever, and then they get a permanent residence or anything like that, right? So.
Yeah. So, anyways, that was. You also told me one thing that was interesting. I think.
What was it with the racism with the colors?
It was. Well, that we're gonna go on to, but it was something about like how the reason Indigenous people have like Asian characteristics. Was that you who said that?
Yes.
It's because of.
So.
Yeah. Can you hear the fighting?
North America.
Someone's having an argument.
Luckily, we're not gonna wait until they stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So.
You hear me bitching them.
Hey, we're filming. Shut the fuck up. No, they'll come up here and kill us. I had one.
But
literally,
yeah.
Well,
so
I have
was
a
just
neighbor
saying,
who wants to kill me. Anyways, we'll move on.
Yeah. So just to go over again, the Pacific Ocean was frozen X amount of 100 years ago.
Yeah.
And people from Mongolia and China have emigrated across the Pacific Ocean because it's all frozen. It was just all land, easier for them to walk over.
That's true.
And then that's where they discovered this land, and they actually emigrated here, and they were more spiritual because they were more.
Fact check. So, did Indigenous in North America originally come from Mongolia and China?
Because China is one of the oldest cultures too.
Yeah. When I did a DNA test to like find out my ancestry and stuff, they showed actually the immigration of like when we originated in Africa and how like basically my ancestors went up to Europe, like to Poland, and like the whole process and things like that. And it's really cool because like you realize that like, you know, and there's a whole theory too of Pangea where it was like it used to be one
I can believe that
one
because
continent,
you do see that,
and then it like
see
spread
South
apart.
America and Africa fitting together like a puzzle and stuff.
So it's like maybe it was like easier for them to move around compared to now because we have like the oceans separating us.
I also just think that in general too, not only just for the Pangea and that sense of like continents looking like a puzzle, but also they've done studies where they found common animals, common plants
that are somewhere that were supposed to be on another country, right? But it's like at the shores. I've heard of that, so they say maybe it was connected in those animals.
So I'll just give you guys this short little whatever synopsis they have here. So scientists have found that Native American populations from Canada to the southern tip of Chile arose from at least 3 migrations, with the majority descendant entirely from a single group of first American migrants that crossed over through, where's that? Beringia? Yeah, sorry. A land bridge between Asia and America that exists during the Ice ages more than 15,000 years ago.
Oh, so you were right. So it was like.
Well, yeah.
Well, it just when you said it was from a friend, I'm like, let's fact check.
How reliable is this friend?
Yeah, who knows? But no, that's interesting. I like hearing about that stuff because it's like it's cool to learn about like history.
And it also makes sense too because when I went to Hawaii, which is so much fun. I did not get to see Lilo and I did not find Lilo and Stitch.
By the way, I have a very
Moana.
I have a very strong opinion on that.
Wait, you went to Hawaii and you couldn't see any of our childhood
cartoons?
Really?
They were hidden.
Why?
I don't know. It's like Find Waldo.
What the fuck?
But in Hawaii.
I'm not going to Hawaii
Have you seen that meme where it's like Waldo's grave and it's like I have good news and bad news? Like we found Waldo, but he's dead. It's been circulating recently. It's been making me laugh.
Is it like his grave is like painted red and white?
It's just his grave, and it says Waldo, and then all it says is I have good news and bad news, and then the implication is like, you know, where's Waldo? We found him, but he's dead.
Oh my gosh.
So, anyways,
I call it doppelganger.
So, the next thing that we were gonna talk about was
no, it's the shadow clone jutsu.
I was gonna cancel you, but that's fine. So we were getting into the topic of racism too, where like you were talking about. You want to tell this story like at the restaurant, or do you want to just talk generally?
The restaurant? What restaurant?
You said that you were talking with like your family or friends or something about racism.
Yeah. So it was just the idea that there's the controversial topic going around where for racism, you can't be racist towards white people.
Yeah.
And I argued that you can because white is a race, and if you're racist, then that falls under that category, and therefore you can be racist towards white people. The counter argument was, no, you can, because white people were always doing the oppressing. So it's when you feel oppressed, that's when you can be
experience the
racism, right? Yeah. Because you're feeling that
that's
segregation.
Like systemic
exactly,
racism,
the segregation, exclusion. Enunciate.
It's okay. We're all about being chaotic here.
Yeah.
So,
so we asked we were just at a restaurant at the time having some discussion with some family.
Yeah.
And we just asked the server as out of the blue, third party perspective and opinion. And she was kind of like unsure for a while, which I liked because it means that she was actually like
thinking
and puzzled.
Yeah.
Then she said, I think she'll have to agree with the latter arguments, stating that I don't think that you can be racist towards white people, because the other point was, well, what would you kind of say that's offensive for white people? And I'm like calling them like colonizers, for example, from the top of my head.
Yeah. And I was talking about that
because not
too.
Every white person is a colonizer, right? Here's
like
Brigida, who's Polish.
Yeah, well, because we were talking about that, how there are like certain countries just like predominantly white that were not
involved in any,
didn't colonize, weren't part of any didn't engage in that.
Of course.
But it was interesting when you said that too, because I had this thought, and I didn't talk about this with you, but I had this thought. There is this period on TikTok, and there's this period on TikTok of this guy who was really popular, and I think he got canceled. He was Indigenous, but he did this. You guys might have heard of him. I forgot his name now. It was like something warrior, and he would call people colonizers. And that was his thing, is if he felt like someone was being racist, he'd call them a colonizer. But he'd call anybody colonizer.
That's why he got canceled.
He said it to anybody, and he said it was a state of mind. And it came to a point where I don't know why actually he got canceled, besides the fact that I saw people shit talking him and saying how he was being just being a bully at some point, because he and I don't know the context, because I used to see his videos all the time. And the videos that I saw didn't seem that bad, but, apparently he got really bad.
Maybe if you see them, every so often, it's not that bad. But
then
maybe
people
if his whole page, and it's every video he's uploading, he's calling at least 10 white people colonizers.
Well, it wasn't even just. That's the thing, is I think it started off with white people that were being awful or racist, but then it feel it morphed into something he started saying colonizer is a state of mind. He started calling anybody colonizer who was going against him. I think that's what was happening, and I think that's why he got canceled, because it was almost like a power trip that he got, and he got famous. I don't know, but I don't know what's going on now. His videos would pop up on my TikTok, and then it would be a stitch where it'd be the person freaking out at him, being you're off. That's how he was started.
I think I remember him.
You've seen him,
right?
Yeah,
I definitely have.
I forgot what was his
He had the
name.
long hair too.
Yeah. So anyway, that was just something that you reminded me of that. But we were gonna go into. Oh my god, I totally lost it. We were
Hawaii.
going to Hawaii. So I had a strong opinion about that.
But unless we're done with the whole.
No, we're not done. It was gonna go into something else. Oh, okay, it's okay. I'll get it. So, we'll talk about Hawaii, because I did actually have a strong opinion on that, and I don't know if people know this.
Lilo and Stitch?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. No.
They're safe.
So I don't want to make you feel bad or guilty for going to Hawaii, but I want to bring attention to something. So. Apparently.
Okay. I was gonna.
No.
Because I was gonna say, if you're gonna say something
There's a lot of people in Hawaii.
Dark truth. Okay.
A lot of people in Hawaii who don't want tourists coming to Hawaii anymore, because apparently.
Really?
Apparently.
What
do you want to say?
I've been working with you for a while now, and I'm just realizing you like to suck the fun out of stuff, don't you? I don't want to ruin this for you, but what the fuck? Don't say it.
She's giving you a disclaimer.
You know
fun shit.
You know that you're saying that because I don't allow you to be racist on this show. And apparently that's fun for you. I don't know how racism is fun.
Nico's laughing.
Oh my god, he's not. He's totally not right now. He's not laughing at all. Talking out your ass. Oh my god. Okay, Nico, blink twice if you're being forced to laugh. Oh my god, he's giving the signal. He's giving the signal.
Is that put your claws up?
No, so it's the signal of domestic abuse. Like,
oh, yeah. Okay. Sorry.
It's this. He's supposed to be doing.
Yeah, I thought it was this. I thought this is domestic abuse. I literally thought he was doing claws up.
That was a South American version.
All right. Fact check that. Wait.
Z formation.
B formation. Hey, we did it. I was a little slow, but I'll get it.
Get there.
All right. So with Hawaii, a lot of people in Hawaii are saying that they don't want tourists coming, and I think the problem, again, have to fact check that. Because it's been a while since I read the article. It's been like a year or something. Okay. But they were saying how, it's related to the fact that tourism, it's so heavy on the tourism, but it's actually affecting the people, like, being able to live there. So the people living there, the cost of living has, like...
Yeah, but they shouldn't blame tourists for that. Like, they have their own government system.
Okay, well...
Realistically.
Oh my god, see, you just want to go to Hawaii and not feel bad.
I know, it was so much fun.
It's I guess I just wanted to bring attention to the fact that, like, it's actually an issue I'm hearing, not just Hawaii, it's an issue in Nunavut and like in our territories, the North Territories in
Canada. Want tourists
there? No, it's not about tourism actually, it's just the cost of living is crazy. Like I saw watermelon that costs like $25 or $30 or something. Bananas, and it's like they're not able to buy basic shit up there because it's like crazy amounts of money, and people are trying to bring attention to these things is basically just what I'm trying to say. Obviously,
which
like
makes sense too,
there's probably always gonna be people going to Hawaii as like for trips and like what are you gonna say?
I was just wondering, do you think that could also be because of how hard specifically the territories in Canada? Do you think it could be specifically because of how hard it is to get things out there?
Yeah, well, that's what he was saying. It's the cost of like shipping things over, right?
Because think about it,
because they probably can't grow anything there, right?
What's the biggest one we have? The
Northwest Territories.
That one.
Wait, is Nunavut the biggest?
No,
yeah,
technically.
Whichever the biggest one is, half of it is like frozen tundra.
Half? Like
90%.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right? It's really small villages there.
It's very inhabitable, yeah.
So, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying it's acceptable, but I'm also saying I can understand why.
But it's like, how would you... But when you think about it, it's like...
I'm not saying it's a good thing, though.
I know.
I can understand.
I'm saying, like, what are you to do? Like, let's say you were born there and you live there. Like, how do you get out? Right? Like, how would you leave?
Just walk over the province.
Over the... Eco.
Well,
do you know what you're talking about? Oh, he goes by both now.
Yeah, fuck it.
Because
got tired of it.
He was in front of the camera and he introduced himself as Nico, so now...
But I told her to cut it, and she didn't.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. You know what? I was editing the video and I sent you a picture saying, do you want me to cut your name? And you didn't respond. You left me on red.
Didn't respond.
You left me on red.
Is a response.
Therefore...
If I didn't
No,
respond,
it's not. No, it's not. You
be,
cannot say that no response is a response because therefore you did not actually tell me to cut it out. Therefore, I kept it in. The episode had to go out. The episode had to release. It had a release date. So you should have responded to my fucking text.
It never made the release
Chopper.
date.
Maybe in those future scenarios, when in doubt, cut him out.
Thank you.
You know.
Wait. Why are you canceling him?
Canceling you and him.
You're just mad because the people you bring like me more sometimes.
I'm sorry. Has my friend messaged you since then?
That's not a fact.
Exactly. She messages me.
Who?
She likes me more.
Who?
My guest.
Oh, no.
Is that what you're talking? What are you talking about?
I'm saying the people you bring over, they like me more sometimes.
Who?
Sometimes.
Who are you talking about?
ZEE,
he doesn't like you more.
Oh, okay. That's right.
I like you both equally.
Oh my god. The little Gemini mediator.
Little pacifist.
Maybe it's okay. Then.
Alright, let's not go there because you're just going to get your feelings hurt.
Or vice versa.
We're way past that.
So one thing we were also talking about, because like we had this whole discussion and it was like it got into a lot of these topics about like different countries, different races, and then I remember talking to you about like how here in North America we're so privileged when we think about it to a certain extent. Oh my god, that noise is very distracting, guys. Why are you disrupting the set, huh? I
was like, all French, you know?
If only Jacques was here. Okay.
He's with us in spirit.
Yeah, he's feeling sick today, actually. That's why he couldn't go. Yeah, he's a bit of a cold.
Little Jacques.
Little Jacques is a cold. Okay. Should we wait for, y'all to be ready?
Yeah, okay.
Are you eating a muffin? Where did you get that?
Okay. So, yes.
So what I was talking about, too, was
the privileges
that we have here. So, I don't know how we got into this, but I remember we were talking about how, for example, there are a lot of things that, people don't understand. Where are you going? Oh, my God. Derailed.
Just mean off railed.
So everyone just loves to leave while I'm talking. I'm just going to point that out. It's just like, this whole room is empty.
We don't need them.
You're not a crew member. You said you're part of it. You said you're crew. This is what crew deals with.
He meant The Weeknd and Drake crew love,
Oh, I don't even know what that is.
The song.
I don't listen to Drake. I don't listen to Drake. I don't listen to Drake.
I guess we're gonna be. This is also The Weeknd.
I heard a couple songs from The Weeknd.
They're both from our city.
Yeah.
Yeah, Drake is messed up though.
So I know we're listening to him afterwards.
Okay, so.
Yeah. So privileges.
Yes.
Let's stay on cue.
Anyways.
We have a lot of topics to go over.
I know. For example. I did a paper on this, and it was related to endangered animals, so elephants or tigers from a certain area. I forgot what the Sumatran tigers were. That was what I totally forgot yesterday.
I know everything's coming back.
So the Sumatran tigers and some of the elephants were endangered, or they're kind of getting there. And at the time that I wrote this was years ago. It was a few years ago.
Okay.
And then when I was doing the paper, because I actually took a class called Extinction. It was an extinction class.
I was so fascinated by that.
Yeah, it was very fascinating.
You found the blackberries.
And it was you were learning. Oh my God. Can you imagine the future?
The Nokia.
Can you imagine the future of this all being okay, anyways. Let's
derailed of the derailed of the derailed.
So one thing that I learned and I found interesting was they're talking about how bad the destruction of the forests are and how it's destroying the habitats of these animals, or it's causing rifts between the forests. So when they do logging, right, these pathways happen to appear between areas of trees and forestry, and those pathways actually cause a disruption to the wildlife because animals that use the foliage for hiding, now they can't cross over because there's huge gaps in between, right?
100%.
So there's a lot of disruptions to that. And so I was talking about how in a lot of these countries, their priority is not protecting these species because the issue is that the people, so the majority of the people are farmers, or they can't afford, basic things. They rely on their crops for survival. And then you have things like these elephants and tigers coming in, either destroying the crops or hurting the people. And so what they would do, these farmers who couldn't afford to lose these crops, I remember that they actually trapped an elephant. They chained an elephant down and let it die. And the reason they did that, though, is because elephants, they have a good memory. So if they let the elephant go, it would come back and it would bring others with it because it knew where the food was. And and it's actually it's horrible on both sides because it's horrible because obviously it's horrible for an animal to die this way, right? And I love elephants, but at the same time, these people don't have the resources to protect their crops from these animals. The government doesn't provide it to them. The government is very corrupt in that area, and in the first place, they do a lot of they do a lot of these things to protect their livelihood. And then you have people in the North America who are like, this is horrible. How could they treat animals this way? Like, we have to protect the animals. It's like, sure, we do have to protect the animals. But by doing that, you're not also thinking about the people.
The actual lifestyle. Like, the whole life is this like
these farmers who are not able to maintain these crops because of these, like, these animals coming in and destroying it. So it's like, you know, I was thinking about how, like, a lot of us here, like, we have the privilege to think, oh, think about the animals, because I'm not a fucking farmer. I don't care. Like, elephant comes trudging through. I don't care. You know, you do you. But, like, when it comes to those countries or those islands, they can't afford a single animal, like, destroying their crop, because that's an entire year of work that they slaved over to be able to feed their families and to make money, and it's destroyed, like, completely destroyed. You know,
and we're not in their shoes. We don't know their lifestyles. It's really hard for people in North America to really
like wrap their head around it, right?
Absolutely.
Because like we're sitting from the comfort of our own homes watching this being like the poor elephant, and it's like, yes, I'm one of those people, but at the same time, I'm not gonna shit on the people who did it, because I know that their lives are hard. Like for sure. You know, I hear that, and I talked about this with Alex, like the most fucked up stories from my family living on farms when they had no money, the things they had to do, right?
Like,
yeah, Alex is traumatized by it.
For me, if I was living in that era, I don't think I could do it.
You were traumatized by that whole conversation.
Afterwards, I was like, good times. Man.
Afterwards, now he thinks back, he's like, it feels great.
Y'all, those was the days. I'm sure if you asked your chicken murdering bathtub grandma.
My bapcha?
Yeah.
You said that right? Oh my god, I'm proud of you.
Bapcha. Oh.
Wait, what did you think I said?
What? Bapcha.
Who's that?
Oh my god. You didn't even know what you just said.
I called her a chicken murdering bathtub grandma.
Oh, I heard bapcha. Because bapcha means grandma in Polish. I was so proud of you, and then you completely...
Yo, take this mic. What?
Wow. Wow. I was so proud, and he totally...
Yeah, she...
What are you listening to?
Listen.
He called her crazy.
The privilege.
What privilege?
Huh? The rest of us
the chicken slaughtering grandmother. What privilege are you talking about?
Okay, so that brings me up to a question then too.
Yes.
If you were living in your grandma's era, okay? Like
oh god.
And you
have
to be a farmer, and they're like, Brigitte,
no,
the sun's up, so you have to be up as well.
No. My grandma used to wake up 4 or 5 a.m. and would go to bed at like 8, 9 p.m. And I'm like, listen, that's not the life. I have to get my...
I couldn't do it either.
I gotta get 2 naps a day, or I get cranky.
I'll be like, where's the subway system? Where's the escalator?
This woman's out there, like, freaking toiling, like, sickling the grass and getting the crops, like, dealt with and watering and, like, dealing with the animals, milking the cows. Listen, if I had to do, like, 10 minutes of that, I'd be done, like, for the rest of the day.
So just an also ironic comment, too. Your grandma, which is only 2 generations... was a farmer.
I don't know if it's 2 generations, because like my family's old.
No, but like
my mom had me old. Like she was like 39.
And your mom, then okay,
she's 39.
Whatever generation, the skipped generation, like the grandma generation.
The grandma generation. She was born like 26 to 28. Apparently the records were lost, so we don't actually know the year she was born. They said it was. They just have an idea. They're like it's either 26, 27, or 28, 19. 26. The records were lost in the war, so she actually doesn't know.
I believe that. But I just found it a little ironic comment that she was a farmer and then you killed the money tree. So, you know, just
I don't have a green thumb. I don't have a green thumb.
Oh, yeah, that's what they call it.
Yeah.
So, tree huggers and green thumbs?
Tree huggers are like the lovers of nature, and then the green thumb is like the people who are good at like gardening and stuff. My dad is like a plant father. He has so many plants. And I think I don't know if it's my mom.
So you didn't get his DNA?
I feel like I got my mom's DNA because my mom's like an academic and like she doesn't do this stuff. She's like not like she knows because she grew up on a farm, but like it's never been like her passion.
Her like innate.
Yeah.
Kinda,
so like I and it's weird because it's like I come from a family of farmers and I'm just killing plants and just like but I love animals. I mean I have that and I keep my animals alive, so at least I have part of it.
That's true. Yeah.
It's just the plants. They're so hard, Z. Why are they so sensitive to every, like, how do you overwater a fucking plant, bro? How do you overwater? Like, I know humans can overeat, but we don't, like, instantly die from it, right?
Just get done.
Oh God, now it's chopper. That's all you say.
Well, you're right, but if essentially you're choking the plant, right? You're depriving it of oxygen. So if you eat food and you can't breathe, are you not gonna die?
I know, but like, why can't?
Right, I can see that.
Why
right?
can't it
Because
just have a bowl of water that it can sip from?
Why can't you have a bowl of water that you can absorb?
No kidding.
My point being, right? It's still a live creature.
I get
what
it,
about
but that's
when it rains though? Like
That was very like focused for Nico. Like from like his south of the border origins, I was like, Jesus. I was like, man, that
he was
good.
never ever in his life south of the border.
Nico.
You were born here, bro. You were born here. You were born here.
No comment.
You were born here.
Here.
Oh my God. Anyways, moving on.
So yeah, plants,
I'm aware of how plants work. I just say that it's ridiculous because I forget to water the plant for 3 weeks. It's alive. I try to feed it water every day. It dies. Like, what do you want?
What do you do when you have a fish?
They die. All my fish have died. I'm telling you.
Flushed down the toilet probably.
No, I give it a proper burial.
Water than fish eats.
You honestly should just flush it down the toilet because they're probably just playing dead with you and you just need it to live.
No, do you know what happens when they go down the pipes? You know that there's a shredder, right? Like at some point, that's maybe.
Do
you see how it's made?
Way along the lines, but that's a huge line you'd have to go through just to get to it.
Yeah, but it's
it could essentially live in the pipelines.
I don't know about that.
Why not?
I don't know about that. I don't think it could live in the pipelines.
Fish could live in a water pipeline.
Like in our
toilet pipelines?
Sewage.
Those are sewage. That's sewage. The thing will die.
Yeah, they will die in there.
Yeah, once it goes in, once you flush it, almost immediately goes into sewage. So it will not be.
Yeah.
I think
it's not gonna
no
survive.
no oxygen.
Is that how it goes?
Buddy, that is some Finding Nemo.
Do you know how sensitive fish are? That's why they always died with me because like I had a hard time even like regulating the ecosystem.
Clearly, I don't know how sensitive they are because they always lived with me.
They're very sensitive. Where are you talking about goldfish? Because goldfish are a whole different story.
Yeah, no. But like, yeah, that's some Finding Nemo lore. That's not.
Yeah, it's not true.
If the pH balance in the water changes, all the fish die.
That's the thing.
They definitely can't stand.
That's why
what comes out of me and goes into the sewers, they can't stand that.
That's why.
Jesus Christ, those poor fish. Only put the fish down the tank if you never want to see it again.
What are you eating?
Nothing.
Did you just see the muffin and what I just drank?
That muffin's fine.
Not for a fish to breathe.
Okay. I don't know why my nose always gets so itchy when I'm up here. I notice I scratch my nose a lot. It's like tingling up here. I have a dust allergy, guys, so if there's dust in the air, I'm gonna die.
There's dust everywhere.
I know, clean it! Yes! I've got an allergy! Alright, moving on. So we were talking about, I remember now, we were talking about the whole thing about racism and different cultures. We were talking about like how much division there is right now.
Yeah.
And we got really into that. And I remember like you were talking about like, we were both talking about how COVID affected that a lot, right? And how like us being at home and basically like the fact that there's so many echo chambers online, right?
Yeah.
That it feels like people like online, we all know that when people are behind a screen, they feel like they are safe and they can say whatever they want, right?
Keyboard warriors
that just say whatever and they feel like anonymous and safe. And then you have the fact that like when you're actually in the real world, like they wouldn't say these type of things. Like when you're actually encountering people, they're completely different. And then the problem 100%. With the pandemic and the fact that there's so much division now has been the fact that like there's so many echo chambers where people are just what they're thinking is being reinforced by whoever they're surrounded by on the internet. And on top of it, the fact that we have things like algorithms and Google tracking, that everything that you agree with and that you like is being fed to you on the internet, and it's like
being catered towards you.
Yeah, and it's like being advertised, and so you end up like stuck in an echo chamber. And so there's a lot of people that don't actually see you know, like they're trapped in this like mindset where they're stuck on the internet and they're not actually interacting with people and they're not actually understanding how people are and the nuances to that, right?
Of course.
I think that's a big problem, and that's why there's so much division. Is like, with the fact that we have so much information is like a good thing, but at the same time, because there's so much information, there's also a lot of misinformation.
Precisely.
Yeah.
It becomes an overload of information.
Yeah.
It's overwhelming, too much to share. Everyone has an opinion. Everyone wants to talk and discuss and argue and debate,
Yeah.
which creates more segregation, more divide, and more conflict.
Yeah. What did you say?
Like Justin Trudeau.
So you're allowed to be political and I'm not?
I'm not. I just
Oh
said a name.
my God.
Wait, what about?
You had a whole damn story. I said a name.
You know this guy. Every time I get political, he's like, but then now he gets political. Like, I'm gonna be political however I want. I'm gonna say what I want now. You gave me permission.
I hate that I'm saying this, but I guess this is the one time. Why the hell are you listening to me?
You don't want me to?
Not what I'm
You
saying.
you want me to not listen to you? Because I could ignore you.
Could you?
I could.
Could you?
I could 100%.
And when I'm the bastard, she makes it mean like, you know, she acts like, oh my God, Alex, you take everything so far. But look at her get like, it doesn't take much to rile her up. She's the same asshole.
I'm an asshole, but at least I'm not a racist asshole.
Yo, very fine differences. You're splitting hairs at this point.
This is not splitting hairs. This is not splitting hairs.
Tomato. What are you talking about?
Tomato. Say it right, Alex.
Tomato, potato.
Oh my God. All right, let's move on. Let's ignore them.
Tomatoes, potatoes.
You know, y'all have to let Z do his thing, because I would say, poor Z. Last episode, the amount of times Alex and Chopper interrupted you, I was like editing, and I was like,
She's saying you and me. Did
yeah.
you not remember that episode of her screaming
I know.
the whole time?
It was
We're
you
having
guys.
So much thoughts.
You guys.
We're well over an hour, so let's bring it around.
Oh wow, I'm not allowed to do 2 hours? We've done 2.5 hours. Literally, so many episodes. We've done 2.5 hours. We're allowed to do more than an hour if we want. We've got a few more topics. We've got a few more. We got like, not that much. Because you wanted to talk about money.
Yeah, no, it's just something that I was just kind of like self-reflecting on, and was just realizing that when it comes to money, how it provides a status, and that's actually more of a hindrance. Like, it has a bit of a disease kind of like status, if you will, where to the point where, let's say if each of us, if we all got $1 million, are we all going to be satisfied and be like, okay, like, we're just going to be content, we're just going to retire and live off the $1 million? No, of course not. We're always going to want the next number, right? You're going to want the 2 million, then you hit 5 million, then you get 10 million, and so forth, and there's no end. And to reference Mean Girls, the limit does not exist.
No limit does not exist.
The limit does not exist, because it's true, because you'll have people that are so rich that they have $1 billion, almost $1 trillion, or if it's a company or a family,
yeah,
whichever the case is, it's like, what do you need to do with $1 trillion? There was a fact. If a person has $1 billion and they spend, I want to say like $10,000 a day, it would take you X amount of hundreds of years to pay off that $1 billion.
Wow.
Just to kind of really grasp
like how much $1 billion really is.
How would I ask that? You didn't really ask it in a question format. You kind of.
I think Alex already has.
Oh, sorry. What was the question?
That how long would it take for $1 billion to be
paid off? Like
if you were to spend $10,000 every day.
Spend it all. I did that same check one time.
Right,
yeah.
It's pretty good.
I remember it was like a law. It was like not your lifetime type of thing.
For
and
sure,
it just puts in perspective how much $1 billion is.
So there was a meme, even just to add as well, very quickly.
Maybe it wasn't a day. Maybe it was a month. I don't remember, but it was something.
It's okay. So we'll just do $1 billion and we'll just divide it by 365. So we'll know how many years it is, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's over 200,000 years.
200,000 years.
We didn't do the number denomination though. 2,740.
2,000 years.
So it'd take like literally fucking.
It would.
And that's
not your lifetime,
and that's at
right?
10,000. That's at 10,000 a day.
10,000 a day.
So
$1 billion is a lot of fucking money.
1,000 a day.
1,000.
1,000 a day would take you almost fucking 3 millennia. Just
set by 10 and it's 10,000, for example.
It still wouldn't be in your lifetime.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there was a meme.
about 3 millennia. That's
yeah. That's
your kids won't even know who the fuck.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm trying to say, right? So
but you're looking at billionaires, and you're looking at the fact that people have all this wealth, right?
For sure.
And it's insane. It's actually insane.
It was really eye-opening. It was just the memes that said, "Can we just say that whoever makes $1 billion, that congratulations, you have achieved capitalism, and we name a dog park after you." That was it.
And then the rest of that money should be given to everyone else.
Yeah, for sure.
Because when you think about it, and people have been talking about this, how $1 billion is a crazy amount. But one thing to consider too, though, is when they show those things about people who have a net worth of $1 billion or a net worth.
That's only when they sell everything.
But yeah, exactly. And I think that's the problem. Is a lot of times they kind of twist the words when they describe the wealth of someone. They say,
Absolutely.
"Oh, this is their net worth," but net worth is your assets. It doesn't necessarily mean the amount of money you have.
There's not liquid. It's not liquid cash.
It's if they. Yeah, so that's something to think about, right? Because it's if you own property, right? That's not necessarily money that you actually
so readily available.
Have available. Yeah, how about that?
You have to put your thing in and then you can
Exactly.
I
I did it wrong.
You're it went from a B to
I don't know what happened there. Something happened there. It failed.
To what you're saying, almost you're 100%, almost no billionaire. Most billionaires are probably in cash value, a couple $100,000.
Yeah.
They're millions and millions. It's all in assets.
Yes, and the stuff they
properties,
own or what they've invested in, or
capturing them legitimately would get you nothing.
Yeah.
You have to sell something large and
Yeah.
then somehow get it to you.
For sure,
them,
100%.
That's why. So when they say
they
billionaire,
don't got stacks of hundreds of thousands in a safe. Well, some of them sure do, but
Because
Yeah.
if they did, then they're not a billionaire properly in that sense, because then the money's not working for them, it's just chilling in the bank, right?
Yeah.
And every billionaire and millionaire knows that that's not how you want money to be.
They're
You
still
want it to be
billionaires.
passive
They
income.
just seem like walking licks. Why would you do this to yourself?
For sure, yeah.
wait, walking what?
But in addition,
Walk home with $1,000 in your bag.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
but yeah.
You got that one.
All right.
Everybody does call up. I feel bad.
Right? Poor Z.
I know.
Poor
Okay.
Z. Let him talk, guys.
One day I'll be more assertive.
Stand up for yourself.
You gotta slap him. Just go up and slap him. Yeah, just beat him up.
Hands on me.
No, I'm okay.
No, absolutely not. I haven't done anything. I support him. Okay, what were you saying? Go on.
No, just to wrap it up as well. In addition to, the money status only takes you so far, because at the end of the day, when we all eventually do die, the
Yeah.
money status means jack shit.
Yeah, I know.
It's not gonna mean anything.
Unless
It'll
you
mean
plan
something to our offsprings if there is that case.
if you have offspring.
Or anything else, or whatever you want to do with your will and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, the money doesn't do much. You know what I mean? So it's it really puts it into perspective. It's a lot of people really let money dictate their life decisions when it comes to the gas on their cars, or this and this, or I bought you coffee this day, and you know what I mean? It's money comes and goes at the end of the day too. It's really just involving yourself in those present moments with people.
Yeah.
And just not seeing those value that doesn't have a price tag.
And when you said will, I've been thinking about this a lot.
Oh my gosh.
I've been
This
thinking
will
about
be
this a
good.
lot. It's not gonna be good. It's not gonna be good. I've been thinking about this a lot, and I was like, I need to make a will for my doll collection. I was like, who would protect my dolls with their life?
Not the niece and nephew. No, okay. Not this
I have
age.
so many. I have
Yeah.
so many now, Z. It's really bad. It's I told Jock, I'm gonna be that crazy lady. You know that show Dead to Me? I love that show. Oh, it's really good. I feel like you'd like it. It's really funny, and it's really interesting. It's on Netflix.
I do like funny.
Yeah, it's funny in a dark humor type of way.
I do like dark humor.
Yeah, so I think you'd like it. But who is it? It was one of the guy's moms has a doll room, and one of the characters accidentally walks in and gets locked in there, and she's just like, oh. She's like, oh no.
So eerie,
all
all
the
the
dolls are, and I'm like,
eyes.
that's gonna be me. I'm gonna be the woman who owns the doll room. And
Okay, but question. But you don't have a collection of dolls like Annabelle, Chucky.
No.
You're fine then.
But it's still gonna be dolls. It's still gonna be dolls
Whatever.
staring right at you with their bug eyes.
As long as no one's doing shrooms or some other strong,
psychedelics.
Yeah, they're not gonna trip out as much.
I do have one friend. I'm not gonna dox her here, but she does have the lifestyle, like the life-size Chucky, like the.
Oh
Chucky's
my
like
God,
this big.
no!
I walked into her house one day, fucking
Bro,
sitting on the couch
no.
staring at me.
Oh my gosh.
I was just,
Chucky's
every time she left the room, I'm like, I fucking know you can talk to me.
You're like, I know you're alive.
It's like
Just do it.
Just kill me now.
push the toaster in the bathroom. Like, here's your bath bomb.
Oh my God. We always get on this creepy doll topic, but really, actually, genuinely, if I die, can you take care of my dolls, please?
What if I die before you?
Then it's fine. Then I'll make a will and someone else will take care of it.
Why don't you just have a will that says be buried with your dolls?
No, my dolls shouldn't be buried. They should live eternally with my memory.
They would be.
They will be passed down to generation to generation, my dolls.
Something tells me at that point you won't have much say.
I will.
So should we push the dolls in the hole? Feels like you're not going to be able to do much.
Because
Should
imagine,
And your actual lawyer, I'd like to see him step to me. I'm not talking about you.
Good. Better not.
Have you ever seen that movie Dead Silence?
Actually, I might have.
It's
What is it about?
It's about this, more or less about a movie about dolls that are haunted and live forever.
Okay, no, I haven't seen it.
You are reminding me of this creepy lady right now. You should watch it. I think you might like the movie too.
I'm the creepy doll lady.
Oh my gosh, we just figured out your new Halloween costume for this.
Oh my God, yes! I'll bring all my
dolls.
I'll just like put all the dolls on my costume.
And you can do your makeup to look like a doll, and then like,
that'll be
like
creepy as hell. Oh my God.
And then make like a mini version, like a voodoo doll of yourself.
But did you know I made my own
Or
doll hair?
Alex.
I made my own doll hair. Did you know? Actually, can I show you? I made doll hair. Look.
Like Barbie?
Look, I actually, look.
Aw, that's
so you
really
want to see
cute.
how she used to look like? So she used to look like...
The before and after?
Yeah. I posted it on Instagram, actually, somewhere. You saw my dog. It's in my story somewhere. Let me show you. I'm very proud. You know how long... It took me days to do this hair. Like, it was hard, and I did it, and I'm so proud of myself. And I have to show you right now. I challenged. Oh yeah, there we go. So that's how she used to be. Her hair was all greasy. I took all the hair out and then I made new pink hair.
Nice. You give it more life.
Yeah. So
More
I'm very
luscious.
proud of myself. So, anyways, let's. Okay. So
But yeah, that was pretty much it about the money, status thing. Unless you had anything to add to that.
When I was talking to Z about this, I was like, I hate money. Whenever I have money, I get anxious and I try to get rid of it.
By spending it.
It makes no sense.
Or donating it.
It makes no sense. Listen, I don't even have money and I donate to play. Like, I donated to like the U.S. Holocaust Memorial. The U.S. Holocaust Memorial. I'm like, what am I doing right now? Like, what the fuck's happening? Like, it's just like, I'm just throwing money at, he saw me when we went to Montreal. There was a homeless person. Remember I had like $50 left over?
Yeah.
I had a $50 bill and this homeless person was like, do you have some change? And I said no. And then after I was like, actually, and I gave him the $50 bill and I left. Like, that's the shit I do with, it's bad. It's actually really bad. It's the reason
you
I'm
also have a
broke.
really big heart too, and you're also paying it forward.
Because
I've
I've always told people, I was like,
about the less fortunate too.
if I would be rich, I would give all my money away. Like, it's bad. Like, I would end up poor.
You would have to get to be rich to give it away.
I would never get to that point because I'm always getting, I don't know what it is. My dad's the same way though. Like, I feel like I'm like my dad. Like, I feel like money, I don't like money. Like, money to, like, I know we need money to live and I know that it's necessary, right? And obviously, because like, that's how I'm alive.
We have an expensive lifestyle here.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think I don't view it in that way of like, it's so, like, I wouldn't do anything for money. Like, no way. Like, if I have money, I like to spend it on other people. I like to like spend it like in a way that like supports people. Don't look at me like that. I paid for you when your debit card didn't work, bitch. You don't start shit with me. Do you know that he was giving me this look like as if I was lying?
Yo, under us. Jesus Christ.
You giving me that look?
Funny enough, this guy, when I was in high school, he said this to me. So it was like just so wise words from like a fellow high schooler.
Yeah.
But it just kind of really pertains to what Z was saying there. He said to me, "Don't cry over money because money won't cry over you."
Exactly.
Oh, I love that as well.
It's true.
You get the L because of the reality of the situation, but like don't take it more than like past that moment. Like,
yeah.
For sure,
if it's gone, it's gone. let's figure out how to get some more.
Of course, yeah.
Because it's like
don't ever give money a second thought if you're being real about life.
Like it's tough. It's tough because it's like, ow. It's like I grew up like you. I know you did too. We talked about this, but like I grew up poor, right? We never had money, so it's like I'm sure there's people watching being like, "There's no way I can't think about money." And I used to be that way too. It's like there's no way I couldn't worry about money or nothing. And it's like, and I always worried about money, right? But the
majority of the world does, in a sense. But I'm just saying, like there are still.
I think it's parts. Like you have to find a way to balance the two when it comes to like your life and the money that you're dealing with, because I think like it's really hard for me to explain what I mean by this, but I think like a lot of so growing up, a lot of the times my mom would always say, when we have more money, I'll do this. When we have more money. So in the end, we spent our entire lives. I spent my entire life basically feeling neglected because I was always waiting for us to have more money, for us to be able to do anything.
The thing is, when people get more money, they just extend the finish line.
Yeah, well, it's like the more you have to get to a point where you are able to sustain things. Like if you're poor and you just get random bursts of money, like, and then you spend it on like your debts or whatever, and then you still don't have money because you're not maintaining it, right? Then it's a problem because you're always waiting for the next possible like relief you get for money.
And we mentioned this last time too, that most lottery winners end up being bankrupt
because they don't know how to manage the money, because it's not sustainable.
For sure.
If you don't know how to sustain your income or your money, then you're gonna lose it, right? Yeah. So and then with my mom, I talked to her a lot recently. Like part of my trauma was the fact that like I knew our money situation since I was 4. Yeah. I shouldn't have. I shouldn't have been talked to as if I was her financial advisor. And so in the end, I told my mom, I was like, honestly, Mom, I feel like we would have had a better relationship if you focused more on our relationship than the fact that like I'm going to be better when I have more money. And it's like, but in the meanwhile, she was being crazy. She was like not being the best that she could be. And I get it, because not having money makes you crazy. I've been through it. But at the same time, at the end of it, you realize how much time was lost thinking about it. And I think that's why 100%. I think that's why I hate money, because like I've seen what it does to people. I've seen like people who are like, they want more money and they lose their minds. And I'm like,
they kind of forget what's actually true.
Exactly.
And
which is why when I do have money, I want to spend it on like the people I love and like things
yourself,
to like and like to like support like everyone around me and like my life, so that like I could just keep doing what I'm doing. But it's not the most important thing to me.
Of
course.
I'm glad you have that distinction too. Which made me want to bring up another thing.
Yeah, let's go. Let's just do it.
What are your thoughts on money buying happiness?
Okay.
Because I know this is a very big one, and there's a lot of, obviously it's subjective too, so each person's going to have a different response, especially from the audience too.
It's very nuanced because money does make life easier. Like if you have money, you can afford certain types of healthcare that would make better yourself, that would make you feel...
To a certain degree. I can agree.
Even in Canada, like we talked about this, mental health care is not free. Like there is free mental health care, but it's so difficult to access.
Yeah, to tap into the resources and have it
so if you have money, you have access to more things, and you basically have things that last longer. You have things that can help you with your mental health and your physical health. Well, physically, like we do get, anyways, it's complicated. But in the end, like money does actually make you feel better, which could make you happier. However, I think if you are super focused on money and it's actually taking away from your life, then it's not making you happier, because all you care about it's all you care about is money. So I think it depends on the person.
For sure, I like that response. Another good one that I heard too was, money doesn't buy happiness, it buys comfort.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
I agree.
Like life, I think life has to be about like, the goals, family, aspirations, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Money makes that a more comfortable road to achieve. But if you just if you get there by neglecting everything else,
what do you really gain then, right?
Talk to money about it.
You cut your friends out, you cut your family, you cut this. oh, but congratulations, you're successful and you live in a penthouse or whatever the case is.
And then you're alone.
But you're alone. It's like, well, did you really win? Like, is that really happiness? We all seen the movie Richie Rich.
Yeah, I remember that. And his parents die or whatever, right?
It could be too much, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
Yeah. All he wanted was friends, right? Because he didn't have any siblings, he didn't have anyone his age, and he was, like, he had a freaking roller coaster in his backyard.
Yeah.
His own McDonald's. Like, yeah, it's just,
I've been looking for friends like him, and they're never in my hood.
I know, right?
I found the white hood.
I know.
I was the one black guy. I'm like, Richie wasn't looking for real friends.
Yeah.
He was looking for safe friends.
I want to rewatch that. That was actually a really good one.
I liked that as a kid. I actually knew someone like that who had a lot of money and would throw a lot of parties. And I could just tell it. They were just, like, extremely lonely, you know? Like, I felt like they were throwing all these parties to feel, like, less empty. You know,
because the money fills the void, but in the end, like, you're seeking the wrong direction.
But they weren't close with anybody, and like it was like
walls up.
Yeah, and actually I had a conversation with them because I'm terrible. I'm so blunt with people. I hate it sometimes. But like I remember I had a conversation with him, and sometimes I feel bad about it because like he was like opening up to me, and I was like, listen, like you need to figure out like who your friends are, because as far as I see, like nobody you're inviting is your friend. No, because actually. Everyone would
Sometimes people need to hear that.
Everyone would go to these parties and they would shit talk him to me. And like he was the guy throwing the party. He was the guy who had all the money. And these people were like, he's such a fucking idiot, or I fucking hate him, and all this. And I was hearing this from everyone. I'm like, why am I here? I felt so uncomfortable because like it didn't feel fun to hear how much people didn't like this person who's throwing the party. And so like I don't know, to me I was like, you know, you just need to find the right people because you're complaining about your life. And I'm like, it's because you're inviting these people and they're with you for the wrong reasons.
He was like, you need to find an actual friend to tell this to.
Yeah.
I'm not it.
I straight up did. I straight up.
Why am I here by yourselves?
Savage
It's true. But it's true. Like, I'm not going to tell someone I'm your friend if I'm not your fucking friend. Like, I'm not. I don't know shit about you. And you're opening up to me. And I'm like, listen. Like, you need to find people who you can, like, trust to tell these things to. And, like, I literally, that's not me.
But he clearly wasn't doing...
Because if I was a different type of girl, this house would be empty with all the information you just gave me for unsolicited reasons.
Oh, my God.
But it's true. Like, and the thing is like, if someone told me that, I would appreciate it. I would be like, you know, you told me straight up, you're not. And I've had people tell me that I'm their best friend and they were fucking lying. And that is the most traumatic experience of your life, because you're opening up to them about stuff and they're just telling everybody your shit and everybody's treating you like garbage.
The dirty laundry.
Yeah, and you're just like, I trusted you. What the fuck? So, you know.
Is this the kind of advice like you would give people at that suicide hotline? Like, here, let me tell you something. You need to find a real friend to tell that.
Oh my God.
He's the one who goes and crosses the line. He's the one crossing the line.
He's the reason why we have
He's the reason we have this cancellation buzzer.
Like, you need to find a real friend to talk this to. Like, you're telling me you don't even know me, sir. All right? There's nothing here for you.
I am not on the suicide hotline, okay? And I would not say those things to someone in that state. Stop.
I'm just saying that's what that man sounded like to me, and that was the advice you gave him. Like,
he wasn't telling me things like that, okay? He was just telling me like personal stuff. It's not.
I'm lonely.
Oh my
God. Not a lot of people around. All this money doesn't amount to anything. 2 Edwards, 2 quarters don't equal $1.
No.
You know
So let's figure out what his zodiac sign is.
He's a Virgo, but I need to do his birth chart. Let's do your birth chart, Alex.
Wait,
let's go.
Is he actually a Virgo?
He is a Virgo, yeah.
Oh, so what do you mean a perfectionist?
Yeah,
I thought his like.
No, I wasn't. I was being serious. He's a Virgo.
Oh,
You thought I was joking. All right, give me all your birth details, Alex.
You're gonna be our birth chart.
Your birthday
is
September
the 19th.
19th, and then what year?
92.
3?
90?
92.
92?
So
You're a monkey. You're a water monkey in the Chinese zodiac.
So that means...
Water monkey?
Wait, so
in
that
the
means...
Chinese zodiac. So is Jacques, and so is my mom and my brother.
You're 9 months older than me, so that kind of means that when you were born, I was conceived. Right? You know what I mean?
So while I was coming out, you were going
Because I'm June 19.
My mom and your mom were screaming two different things.
Yeah.
Okay, what time were you born? Do you know?
I think in the 4:30 a.m. area.
Okay, and then where were you born? It was Jamaica, right?
Jamaica, yeah.
Is there a city I can put in?
Jamaica's
Spanish
one.
Town, St. Catharines.
St. Catharines? I think it's a whole city. Jamaica's just a city.
No. I meant like.
Buddy, yeah. Come on, man.
No. I meant like. Doesn't it go by the time zone or like?
It goes by the city.
Like Toronto, Mississauga is not going to differentiate that much, would it?
I don't know if it's gonna. But
isn't it by the star signs and the star alignment?
Well, the thing is that it could change depending on how far you are, it could change the position of some of the planets. Like,
yeah, like if it's Toronto and Ottawa, okay, yeah, I get that.
But if you want to know the exact degrees, then yes, it's good to put the specific because it's like it's different, right? Wow, St. Catharines isn't even showing up for Jamaica.
Wait,
wow.
We used another word before.
Spanish Town?
Huh?
Spanish Town.
Spanish Town?
One word. Yeah. I don't like that you're saying it like with a question mark at the end. It
because
exists.
I'm making sure I'm hearing it right.
It exists.
Because I don't trust you.
We're from it.
I don't
it's
trust
real.
you.
I was there the other day.
Alex,
It's
I
real.
just straight up don't trust you with anything Spanish related. I'm just saying. It's just saying. I don't.
Look coming something.
Okay, so you said it's one word, but on here it made it 2 words.
That's
so
fine. It's like not gonna.
Oh, okay. All right.
So you found the birth chart?
Yes. All right.
Oh, it's 2 words.
Oh my God, he has a
Yo,
Gemini
bleep out
moon
what I
like
said
you.
about 1 word.
I see it.
Well, because I'm double Gemini.
Oh my God, and he has a Libra Mercury and a Libra Venus and a Cancer Mars like Jacques and a Virgo Jupiter like Jacques.
What are you talking about?
And you have a Saturn Aquarius, so you just went through your Saturn return.
She's talking zodiac math.
It's okay. It's
Zodiac
fine.
physics.
You don't have to know. It's okay.
Zodiac-
Physics?
You have a
Zodiac
Virgo rising
chemistry.
like me. Aha! We all have Virgo risings.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
That's so funny.
What's a
I
Virgo
love
rising?
that. It's okay. You don't have to know. So
When
the sun is in
sun
there.
is rising in the
Okay,
section
so-
of Virgo.
All right, so
She can explain better.
I'll explain it. Okay.
She's the zodiac encyclopedia.
So you have a Virgo sun and a Virgo rising. So basically who you are at the core is also the way that you come off when people first meet you. So when they first see you, they probably think that like you're being judgmental of them when you really aren't. And that's how I felt when I first met you.
Yeah,
and I feel like
you gotta understand. I judge the hell out of everything.
Yeah, sure you do, but you don't. But you don't. You
I'm
don't.
still judging Nico to this day.
I know, that's fine.
To
It's
this
okay.
day.
All right. But you have a Gemini moon like ZEE. So the way that you are when it comes to emotions is like you're very like
rational.
You're very like logical when it comes to your emotions, and you're also able to see other people's perspectives.
Yeah.
And you fluctuate. So sometimes you might feel a certain way one time at the time of the day, and it could change very quickly throughout the day. Your opinion can change. Your feelings can change. It can change rapidly. And you also have a Libra Mercury and a Libra Venus, which I totally see because when you communicate with people, you very much want to make sure that everything is okay with everybody. You very much are good at, like, you're very good at communication. You're very good at making people feel comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to...
You hear all that?
Outside of this fucking podcast, okay? I'm not talking about this podcast. Because no one knows this.
With him.
No one knows this outside of this podcast, but the way that Alex is outside of the podcast is a whole different Alex. The whole different Alex. Listen, Jacques was like on the couch there, and he saw that Jacques was like uncomfortable, so he set the couch up. He like lifted his legs, he set up the TV for him, everything made him all comfy, and I'm like, what a Virgo, what a little like
I can say
like,
that about myself
Libra.
too, 100%.
Yeah, and so like
What are we talking about here?
you. Anyways, so
Wait,
when it comes
I
to
did
your
all that for
Mars, yeah, you
Are you
did.
sure?
Oh my god.
I just didn't want a white guy to die in our studio.
He's trying to
We don't have
gaslight me.
insurance.
It's okay.
The
we don't have
gaslight.
insurance.
We don't have insurance.
Alex, get insurance for fuck's sakes. Why you?
We don't have insurance.
Why don't we have insurance?
Why you cut this out? Everyone doesn't even know that.
Why do we not have insurance?
Have you seen my apartment?
I don't know what that means.
I'm a walking firehead. Cut this part out.
I will not. I will keep it in. I will drag you on Twitter. So he has a Cancer Mars, which is funny because Jacques has a Cancer Mars. So basically, when he argues with people, when he's upset with people, very passive aggressive. Very passive aggressive. 100%. You are. You won't admit it. You won't fucking admit it. But it's in there. And Jacques is the same way because, you know, when he is angry, he very much doesn't like to not be appreciated. So if people don't appreciate the things that you do or they don't appreciate you, you get salty. You get salty about it. Deep inside. And
Is this a regular occurrence at the
with Jacques?
house?
With Jacques?
At the Brigida household, yeah.
At the B household?
Sorry.
That's right.
Is this a regular occurrence?
To be honest, no.
Does Jacques do the dishes and then you just...
No, I do the no. He doesn't live with me. I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't even eat on them. You're like, oh, you missed one. She walks out the kitchen.
You know, none of this is happening. It's happening in your mind.
That one's not clean.
Okay, I was gonna say something, but I'm not gonna expose anyone. Okay, moving on. So you just went through one of the toughest periods of your life in the last few years because you had your Saturn return, and I'm going through it right now. We're going through it right now. Saturn and Pisces. What about you? I don't remember.
It's not about you.
It's not about you.
It's never about him.
Nico, is that what I said? I can't remember, to be honest. I genuinely can't. I'm sorry. Love you. Okay, so you're going through your so you went through your Saturn return. So basically, the thing that makes you develop into adulthood has already passed, and you're probably at a state right now where like you've been through some shit and you know how to deal with it because the toughest part has passed.
How do you know that? Don't read
from your fucking birth chart.
Don't read my soul like that. Cut it out.
I'm reading you to filth, bitch.
Wait, quick, have a vision.
Don't fucking read my
That's so Raven. Like, dude, zoom into the eye.
You know the past Raven? Yeah. That's so Pushnik. It's the past that I can see.
Wait, what are you? That's so Pushnik?
Yeah.
What is that?
So you know how Raven sees into the future?
Yeah.
She made a parody of herself.
She made a parody of herself? Really?
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Of Pushnik. So it's That's So Pushnik. And it's the past that I can see.
Was this on TikTok or something?
No, it was on That's So Raven. Like, it was like the actual show. This. Yeah, I'll show you. It's
oh my
so
God,
jokes.
Please show me.
Wait, that's a reverse to the real song, isn't it?
What? Pushnik?
It's a reverse?
Yeah, because the real song, That's So Raven. It's the
that's what I'm saying. Like, she did a parody of herself. So I'll do the video here.
I want to see it, yeah. Can you screen record it?
Yeah.
Or send it to me. Send it to me after.
It's like 10 seconds.
Send it to me, though.
Pushnik. See, they're laughing. That's so Pushnik.
This would not survive in today's climate at all.
Like for me it would, but like...
For you, but I'm saying today's climate, that would not fly.
Yeah.
That would not fly at all.
Oh, so sorry. It was Cory in the House, which was
I didn't watch Cory. I didn't watch Cory in the House.
It was a parody of That's So Pushnik, because like it's Raven's there, and she's
So I never watched Cory in the House because like I was like.
It was actually pretty jokes. It was actually really funny.
I
liked it a lot.
I watched a bit of it. I watched a bit of it, but like I was like without Raven.
I didn't get the hook. Well, there's Raven's back or Raven's home, but I haven't gotten a chance to get.
Let's go through the printer.
Who? Willis, what'd you say?
So, anyways, so your son.
Oh.
Sorry. Oh my God, his moon is in the 10th house.
Hey, Brigida, cut out the beat. Sorry, stop it.
Excuse me?
Huh? Can she still see the future in
I haven't seen.
Oh, you haven't actually seen it?
No. I just know that the new show is called what?
Oh.
She was reading.
It's not your segment.
I'm
not neither.
It's not your segment.
It's like Full House and Fuller House.
You know what? Let me put this in the test. What was she reading about?
She's reading about your son here.
Yeah, you bitch.
Oh, you're still on that?
Yes, it's the astrology
it's a whole
section.
So rude.
He is rude.
See?
I thought we
I'm
were
still
like
waiting for a
segments.
genuine one, and this is the treatment you get from people that you're just throwing them out at like that. Thanks.
I have no idea what you just said to me.
He basically wants his card to be read next time.
Okay, but I read it to you at the party. I'll read it on the next episode if you want. I'm planning to read a birth chart every episode.
We will. Why? Because he's powerful.
No one asked you.
Because he's
No one asked you. Bro. Okay, anyway, so he has his moon in the 10th house like you. So the way he expresses his Gemini energy, very, very Capricorn-like, which is why I feel like I understand to a certain
Which is why we all all of us
vibe. So, but his sun is in the 1st house, which I find hilarious because
How are you?
the way he expresses his energy, even though he's a Virgo, he's very expressive, he's very impulsive, he's very open about what he thinks, even though Virgos are typically very introverted, but he's not. His energy as a person is expressed very outwardly. It's who you are on the surface. Nothing deeper. It's all on the surface. You have it all hanging out, Alex.
You sound like an empty egg.
Yes.
What you see is what you get.
And his moon is in Gemini in the 10th house, so very logical with your emotions. You also very much don't like to express them to people. It's something very internal.
I mean, I'm moan during sex. Don't be like that.
You're what?
Huh?
Why are you talking? I'm reading you. You're not reading me. This is the... And then in terms of his how he communicates with people too, very, very open communication, which I like. I like that.
Yeah, I'd be like, sup.
Sup.
You're ruining it for yourself.
Yourself for everyone.
And his Venus is interesting too because you have a Venus in Taurus. But his Venus is in Libra in the second house, which is Taurus. Yeah, you have a Taurus Venus.
Oh.
But he's
I don't keep up with the Kardashians.
What? What? Okay, so his Venus is in Libra, but it's in the 2nd house, which is Taurus. So the way he expresses himself in a relationship is the way that you are in a relationship, which I find interesting. It's like the nuances. So in relationships often, you probably tend to accommodate the other person more than they accommodate you. You tend to often sometimes maybe take on the traits of the person that you're with. And you very much like there to be harmony and balance in your relationship. You don't like when things seem to be unfair or imbalanced. And you very much adhere to your partner, and you might have had experiences where they didn't do the same, and it was frustrating for you. So the way that you express it as well is interesting because it's in the 2nd house. In the 2nd house, so Taurus and Libra are both ruled by Venus. Venus is the planet that rules them, and the Venus is the planet of love, right? So your Venus is actually in a very ideal placement because it's very at home where it is, and the way that it's expressed is very at home. So when you're in a relationship, you probably actually are a very, very good partner, even though you're this chaotic human being. But when it comes to how you are with your partner, you're probably very attentive. You're very much want them to be happy. You very much care about them, even though you don't come off that way.
So comment. Can you fact check that?
He can't. There's no way.
Right? Right? I mean,
what?
I had very little. I had very little inside my egg, and you just told the world about it. Now I'm just exposed.
Yeah. How does it feel?
Exposed.
How does it feel?
Kind of like another day in my living room when no one's here.
Yeah. And then I don't want to listen. Stop. You don't know about the story.
No, it's okay. What?
The story. You don't want to know the story?
So what happened was I was sitting here and my laptop was here, and then I had a female friend over, and I'm like, yo, I'm right here, finish, or whatever, and I hope she catches me. Let me finish, hold on. She came and she caught me, and I was like, yeah, you just caught me, it was crazy, it was nuts. And she goes, oh my God, he's right there. and there's a whole man sleeping on the couch not 3 feet from me.
You wanted this story? Okay, it's okay. Wait, what's happening? It's Snapchat?
No, time.
Oh, it's okay. Oh, it's
we
silly.
should wrap.
Okay, we'll wrap it up. It's fine. Z wants to leave.
What? No, my ass is just flat.
He's just tired. Anyways, so that's a little bit of Alex's birth chart. I think I did it pretty accurately. And I think I'm going to do something. So what we're thinking of doing with astrology is like, I'm going to do a birth chart every time, and it's either going to be someone here or it's going to be an anime character. And then
No, it doesn't have to be anime. It could be any character.
I want it to be anime.
What about Harry Potter and stuff?
Okay, we can do that, but like anime first.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, of course.
Because we're very much about anime here.
Of course.
We're very much about anime here.
But I just want to make it more,
like,
inclusive
yeah.
instead of exclusive. That's
so,
all.
okay, that's fine. We'll be inclusive, like the wheelchair Barbie. So, okay, so I think that ends it for B to Z.
I got a lot of jokes.
I don't want to hear your jokes, and I think that we're out of steam.
From B to Z.
Thank you for watching, guys. Love you. Bye.
I'm glad that didn't clack.
Oh, like, comment, subscribe.
Oh, yeah.
Obligatory.
You like them.
Listen, our end screen says it. We already have it.
Comments.
Y'all better do it.